Hey listeners. Welcome back to SpeakEC, your easy learning channel. Today we'll know about Administrative Reforms Commission for Civil Services Preparation. In this video we cover below things. 1. Evolution of Indian administrative system. 2. Constitutional framework. 3. Union government administration. 4. State government administration. 5. District administration. 6. Local administration. 7. First and Second Administrative Reforms Commission. Evolution of Indian administrative system. The public administrative system in India has a long history. Kingdoms existed in India several hundred years before. In the earlier era the civil servants performed the role of servants of the king. During the medieval period they became state servants. The land revenue system was established during the Mughal period. The East Indian Company has a civil service to carry out their commercial functions. During the British rule they started as servants to the Crown, but gradually they started becoming public servants. The British government set up the Indian Civil Service, primarily with the objective of strengthening the British administration in the UK. In this period the role of the civil services was to further the British interest, and the role was totally regulatory. Later on they assumed development roles also. After the coming into force of the Constitution, the public services as we see today came into being. The existing administrative system in India is the backbone of the administrative machinery of the country. The civil service system in post-independent India was reorganized. At the central level, the civil services include the All India Services, namely the Indian Administrative Service, the Indian Forest Service, and the Indian Police Service. There are various central services like the Indian Income Tax Service, Indian Railway Services etc. There are three tiers of administration: union government, state governments and the local governments. The state governments have their own set of services. The hallmarks of civil services in India are: 1. Constitutional protection. 2. Political neutrality. 3. Permanency. 4. Anonymity. 5. Recruitment based on merit. The administrative structure of the Government of India is as follows: President, Vice President, Prime Minister, Council of Ministers. Ministers. Under ministers, there is a secretary, additional secretary, and joint secretary. The administrative structure of the state governments is as follows: Governor, Chief Minister, Council of Ministers. Minister. Under ministers there are secretary, additional secretary, and joint secretary. District administration. District collector is the main entity. Regulatory administration and development administration are the two main entities under district collector. The hierarchy of other entities under regulatory administration are: law and order, land administration, tax collection and coordination. Local self-governments in urban areas. 1. Big cities have city corporations. 2. Cities have city municipal committees. 3. Towns have town municipal committees. All these are elected bodies. Administration is carried out by an appointed chief executive who is answerable to the elected bodies. Their main role is to provide civic amenities to the citizens. Their main source of revenue is local tax, and funds received from the state government. Local self-governments in rural areas, Zila Parishads at district level, block Panchayats at block level, village Panchayats for a group of villages, Gram Sabhas with all adult members of a village. Their main role is to function as a local self-government. They provide civic amenities, they carry out developmental works. Major developments impacting administration are globalization, increasing disparities, transformation of the world into a global village, deregulation and privatization trends, increasing awareness about human rights. State formally interventionist, producer, Regulator and seller now called upon to be a facilitator, promoter, and partner. Emergence of powerful technological solutions, computers and IT. Increasing expectations from the governments to perform. Administrative reforms in India. Since independence, India has witnessed major developments in the social and the economic fields. The government today is no longer playing the traditional role of a regulator. Its role evolved to that of a promoter and then to that of a facilitator and service provider. Administrative reforms have been necessitated because of change in the role of the government, changing environment, rising aspirations of the people, improving efficiency and effectiveness. Administrative reforms in India after independence are below. Several commissions and committees have gone into the subject and suggested various measures. Major reforms have been brought about based on the recommendations of these. Some of the important studies or reports are as follows. Report on Reorganization of the Machinery of Government in 1949 by Mr. Gopalaswamy Iyengar. It recommended that the central ministries be bunched into bureaus. The Goala Committee appointed by the Planning Commission. It gave a general report on public administration. Paul submitted 2 reports on Indian administration. The O&M Organization and the Indian Institute of Public Administration were set up as a result of the recommendations. The Committee on Prevention of Corruption was set up under chairmanship of Mr. K. Santhanam. The Central Vigilance Commission was set up. The first Administrative Reforms Commission was set up in 1966. It has 20 study teams, 13 working groups and 1 task force. It gave 20 reports making a total of 581 recommendations in a period spread over 1966-70. Now let us look at the first Administrative Reforms Commission. It gave reports on the following subjects: machinery of government of India and its procedures, personnel administration, redress of citizens' grievances, centre-state relations, state administration, administration of union territories, machinery for planning, economic administration, finance, accounts, and audit, delegation of financial and administrative powers, railways, post, and telegraph, etc. We'll see different reports after the first Administrative Reforms Commission. Committee on Recruitment Policy and Selection Methods D.S. Kothari in 1976. The Commission on Centre-State Relations Sarkaria in 1983. The Fourth Central Pay Commission Report in 1986. The Committee to Review the Scheme of the Civil Services Examination Satish Chandra in 1989. The Economic Administration Reforms Commission. The Fifth Pay Commission in 1993. Surendranath's Committee Report in 2003. Committee on Civil Services Reforms. The Second Administrative Reforms Commission. Constituted on 31st of August 2005. Its objective is to prepare a detailed blueprint for revamping the public administration system. Terms of reference. The Commission will inter alia consider the following. 1. Organizational structure of the Government of India. 2. Ethics in governance. 3. Refurbishing of personnel administration. 4. Strengthening of financial management systems. 5. Steps to ensure effective administration at the state level. 6. Steps to ensure effective district administration. 7. Local self-government or Panchayat Raj institutions. 8. Social capital, trust and participative service delivery. 9. Citizen-centric administration. 10. Promoting e-governance. 11. Issues of federal polity. 12. Crisis management. 13. Public order. The approach of the Second Administrative Reforms Commission. A set of subjects is selected by the Commission for study. Eminent national institutions are requested to carry out studies of the subject and help the Commission. The Commission carries out public hearings. The Commission carries out deliberations with all stakeholders. Detailed consultations with the state government. The Commission carries out field visits in order to assess the ground realities. The first phase, 4 areas have been taken up for study in the first phase. The final recommendations in all these 4 areas would be submitted by March 6. The 4 areas are: 1. Effective implementation of Rights to Information Act. 2. Crisis management. 3. Public order. 4. Implementation of the National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme. Thank you, listeners. If would like to follow our videos, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you again.